Alright, Section 7 Guidelines for Initial Emergency Response. Accidents involving the tanker cars must be evaluated and approached with great care with the possible presence of the hazardous material danger center with the absence of the visible head. Warning labels marking with the placards not guaranteed for the commodities involved with the air. The harmless, careful with the evaluation. Assessment of the initial response to the accident may be made direct to the difference between the emergency disaster. It is possible that the scenes of the accident involving the hazardous material dangerous goods will present such a high degree of the hazard that only the shape of the course would evacuate all the personnel from the area or allow the incident to run over the course. Of course, without intervention, furthermore, a service situation may exist with or without the presence of fire, smoke, or fumes. The initial notification: you are the first on the scene of the transportation accident. You first avoid the endangered yourself. Call for help immediately. Notify the local emergency response personnel, transportation carrier, and notify local emergency response agency contingent with your circumstances. You may need to call one or more of the following agencies for assistance: Chemitrack 108-424-9300, toll free U.S. Canada, U.S. Virgin Islands 1703527. 3887 for the calls originating elsewhere, collecting the calls accepted. Canutech 1-800-996-6666. Calls collected are accepted by the star 666 cellular in Canada only. The SecTwit 1-800. This is a Mexican Republic for the calls originating. National Response Center, 1-800-424-8802 for the toll-free U.S. Canada, U.S. Virgin Islands in the District of Columbia. The Association of American Railroads Bureau of Explosives in the U.S. Railway Association of Canada, RAC, in the Canada, the personnel available with emergency response technical assistance for the railroad incident involving the hazardous material dangerous goods in the Bureau of Explosives of the Railway Association of Canada respond upon request from all railroads. Binoculars are recommended to dismiss the responders assessing with the incident with the safe devices provided the following information as you can call for assistance. Your name, location, telephone number, the location of the incident, the type of the vehicle container involved, the wind direction, the approximate speed, presence of the injured presence of injured people, the presence of smoke and fire fumes, presence of marking labels or placards on containing the vehicle, the carrier name, other pertinent information. Alright, other than initial notification made to isolate the scene and ensure all necessary and unnecessary personnel are clear of the site, make sure your vehicle is far enough away to the hot exhaust system that does not provide a possible ignition system. Turn off the vehicle's ignition. Do not smoke, use flares, fuses, lanterns, or open flames near the scene. Resist the urge to rush into the accident scene on site with rescue injured personnel until after the commodities are identified with the nature and severity of the hazard is assessed. Alright, your initial assessment. Remain a safe distance upwind from the site. Use the binoculars, survey the site, the surrounding area, make notations, sketches the necessary, pay particular attention to location of the injured personnel and their proximity to the surrounding hazard location, potential threatened personnel. Locating, marking labels, placards on containers of vehicles that may be aided with identifying commodities present. Note the number, the type of the containers of vehicles involved, visual damage, and or leakage from the container's vehicle, the gas, vapor, liquid, or solid vehicle containers, reporting marks, letters, and numbers, accessibility to the site, possible escape routes, weather conditions, topographical features of the site and surrounding areas, especially bodies of water. Report the above information directly to the response organization as soon as possible. Notification of the chemical commodities, copy the names and other information precisely. Even minor spilling errors can be even have serious consequences, determining the hazard property of the materials involved. Identifying the materials before entering the incident, the identification of the commodities and containers of the vehicles involved. The essential of the shipping paper is the best source for this. Information for the rail carrier. For the information typically contained with the document called the train consists of the train list of the wheel report, which is in the possession of the member of the train crew. This information may also be available to contact the railroad by phone. The train consisting of the train list with the wheel report with identifying whether the commodity and hazard of where the car is located into the train. A rail yard shipping paper and information for this available at the yard office. In absence of shipping paper, to use binoculars from the safe distance upwind. Try to locate any 4-digit identification number on the placard, orange panels. Apply to the containers, vehicles, and or label packages. This may help determine the presence of a hazardous material and dangerous goods. If the shipping papers and placards marking labels are destroyed, the reporting of the markings normally on the railcar intermodular container can often be used to identify the commodity present. The railcar reporting the marks in series of letters and extending the ending with the X, which indicates the car is privately owned or not owned by a railroad, followed by the serious number, the EGBOEX 123456 intermodular container using similar numbering pattern. Trailers having the numbers but may not having reporting marks. While this is the information carrier will be able to determine the vehicle's content. Attempting to retrieve the shipping papers obtaining the commodity name of the container should only be tried if it can be done without undue risk. The personal and unidentified spilled contaminants should be approached with caution and use the maximum level of the personal protective equipment as necessary. The tanker car damage assessment. Tanker car damage assessment guides presented are intended to allow those first on the scene to make initial appraisal of the railroad tanker car damage for the purpose of determining what the actions should be taken until the expert appraisal assistance is available. Alright, these guidelines may not be appropriate for the assessment of damage of other types of transportation storage tanks, such as the tanker trucks, the tanker trailers, or portable tanks or stationary tanks. Tanker cars or other bulk containers involved with the accident may suffer the surveyor damage without loss of landing. The damage may be looking impressive, even some yet of the car. The container may still have sufficient strength to permit it to be carefully removed from the accident site for the later transforming the unloading of its contents. The most serious damage that occurs to the tank of the other containers transporting the compressed gas is caused by bending, denting, and the scoring of the gouging without resulting in leak time. The pressure handling can result in delayed rupture. If it happens, there will almost be enough heat caused by the metal tearing to the ignited release contents when they are flammable. Alright, virtually all liquefied gases are shipped to the tanker cars with jackets. Tank damage is referred to the damage to the tank itself, not in the surrounding jacket. The presence of the jacket may be determined looking up to see if the ripped, torn metal reveals insulating material. The jacket may be also noted with the flashing over the body bolsters, flat spots with the side over the end of the tank of the lap wells, and the tank is found beneath the jacket. Then never attempt to cut or remove the jacket to search for the tank. Assessing the tank damage is not casual material requirement of the presence of the trained specialist. Each visible dent and scored gouge must be examined. As adjacent car, the surrounding materials are removed. As if the tank car itself moved, and nearly exposed surfaces must be expanded as well. Dents in combination with scores and gouges, cracks, and dents will be with a cross weld seam are the most dangerous, and the tighter, the smaller the radius, the curve of the dent, the more dangerous it is. Alright, dents and run lengthwise of the cylindrical section of the tank are usually considered to be more of the dangerous, large with the dents in the head, but even the large head dents in the dangerous, and if they appear with the conjunction with the gouge or score of the cracks, and small head dents with not exceeding 12 inches in the diameter, especially entirely bent edges, should be considerably marginable, maybe justifying unloading in place, usually by transferring material to another tanker car or other container on the site, rather than attempting to move it to rail. Any cranks in the base of the metal with the tank, especially in combustion, dent of the gouge, is justifying unloading the tank before it is moved, except it must be necessary to get the valves upright as accessible. Score gouges are excessively dangerous if they are run lengthwise over the distance of 7 feet cross while on a tank or greater than 1/16 of an inch in depth. To repeat the assessment of the tank damage as a skill requires the training experience. Factors include elevation of the damage to the tank itself, outside air temperature, material in the tank, the vapor pressure, internal pressure, the questionable situation. The best scores with evacuate all personnel for 1 mile radius. When a fire, especially with the torch-like flames, impinges on the tank, the high-volume hose of the stream directed at the point with the flame contact to prevent the dangerous heat and pressure buildup of the non-punctured tank. The torch fires occurs when the tank has been punctured and the pressure relief valve has functioned and the flammable gas is burning out of the opening and showing projection flame. What this kind of fire, large standoff distance is required on man monitoring nozzle and provided with great protection for the responders that have hand lines. Situations where flooding with water may be inappropriate or occur with the water temperature isn't higher than the temperature and of the material of the tank. This is often the case during the winter months. Additional factors are considered before attempting to cool the tank, which the water will include the tank's construction may be insulated, covered with a jacket, and supply water possible environmental damage for the contaminated runoff, ground saturation, which may prevent the heavy equipment from entering the site with the performing wreck clearance operations. Alright, the water attack is almost never the first thing the emergency responders should attempt. The guidelines in this section, especially those rating the initial notification and making initial survey, collecting and interpreting hazard response information, and reviewing the tank damage in order should be followed prior to laying out charging and using hose lines. Alright, Section 8, Glossary and Railroad and Tanker Car Terms.